So, cool. So, welcome everyone. This is just the first demo of the very basic functionality of adding Facebook Messenger to the new Messages API. We also have the Vonage Essentials team from Israel over here on the call as well, because they will actually be one of the first customers to be integrating it into the Vonage Essentials app. So good to have them here. So the main sort of purpose of this, why we're adding this particular channel, is that we wanted to add a channel that was very easy for anyone to use and test with. As you know, we first added Viber. We added Viber because it was the quickest to add, but it also meant we could be very narrow on our initial target customers, because you have to have a set number of messages per month in a set geographic region. Now that we've added that and we want to open up to more sort of customers, Facebook Messenger is an obvious next step. Anyone can create a Facebook page, and we can be able to service a self-service customer base. In terms of who we want to really get using this, or some criteria of success, is obviously Vonage Essentials using it, but we want to get at least one large enterprise customer starting to play around with it in Q1. Possibly Airbnb, saw them last week and they were quite keen on this. If not, Booking and BlaBlaCar are currently quite interested in this as well. The advantages of those particular large B2C customers is that they are global in the sense that they could do a free channel failover. First do Facebook Messenger, then Viber, then SMS. In terms of cascading down in the most expensive or cheapest channel to most expensive, but also in terms of the richness of the message as well. Also, once we've implemented it into our quote system, so it could be self-service, we would hope to get on some more long-tail developers just playing around with it, and we hope to have probably around 10 at some time in Q1. I'm now going to hand over to Panagiotis, developer on the team, who will then run through the demos.
Hi everyone. Okay, so the first step of the demo is adding the Facebook page to our Facebook application. To do this, you need to visit the static page at this URL, static.nesmod.com/messenger. So first thing, you log in using the Facebook SDK. This is blocking it. Okay. Okay, so now that I'm logged in, I select one of the pages I want to register to the app, say this one, and then I get my JWT token using this request. So I provide it to the page and then click subscribe. So this shows a successful subscription for page and tells you the page name and the page ID. Might want to make a note of this, but it's not necessary really. Okay, going back to the slides. Okay, so what this included is these are the tickets that this part included. Most important of which is, as a customer, I want to add my Facebook page to ChatUp account so that I can quickly use the API. So what this did is subscribes the page to the Facebook page to Nexmo's Facebook app, and then also creates a ChatUp account.
So one of the nice things about this sort of feature is that if you wanted to do it yourself, you have to manage Facebook tokens that have to be refreshed every 2 hours. So this makes it very easy for someone just to come along and add it. Particularly a large organization where the Facebook admin not actually have access to the code and everything else. So this way we can provide a very simple page. We can just go through the login process and just very quickly add the Facebook page to Nexmo. Now, as you can see, it's a very functional page. Slight improvement upon the old chat app OTT one, But this is something that the Vonage Essentials team will take, but actually put into the iOS Android SDK, but with a nicer polish, and it will enable them for their customers to then add their Facebook pages to Nextdoor. So it doesn't look particularly sexy, but functionally it solves a lot of problems. So it's really good.
Okay, moving to the second step of the demo. This is showing the empty NMO flow, so where the user sends a message to the page and the page sends a message to the user. These are the tickets that were implemented. Okay, let's demonstrate this. So now our page is subscribed. It's important to note that for Messenger, the user is the one that needs to initiate the flow. So first I send a message as a user to the page. So I say, hello from user to page. And I send this. This will send this will send a callback to my webhook saying hello from user to page, specifying the to and the from. So the to, this ID of to is my Facebook page clip, and the from is the user page, no, the user ID. It's important to note that this is a page scope ID, which means that it's an ID specific for one user to one page. So if another user were to send a message to the same page, it would be different. And if the same user were to send a message to another page, it would still be different. So this is specific for the user to that page. So this is my MO flow. Going to the MT flow, where the page sends a message to the user. This is how the request would look like. You'll notice that this from we see here becomes the to, and the to we see here becomes the from in the request. These are the IDs supplied, and similar to the Viber and SMS, we specify the type, which is Messenger in this case. The message is page sends the message to Facebook user. I submit this request, and I should get another callback to my webhook, where the first one is submitted, giving the message UUID, and the second one is the delivered callback. You'll notice here we have usage, which only says currency right now, but it's going to specify the price once we implement that. And then when I go to my to Messenger and I view the message, I should also get a red callback, which is not yet implemented, but it's in the work. Yeah, that's it.
Error messages?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I mean, similar to the other flows of chat that we did, if you specify a wrong name for the field, it's gonna show an error message like that. Tells you what the error was, or if you specify a wrong account, it's going to say the account from is the invalid from parameter, which means that there's no chat account matching this ID. This, if I specify a wrong to ID, I still get the correct synchronous response, but if I go to my webhook, I'm going to get rejected callback invalid params because that was an invalid PS ID used. Yeah, so that's it really. Then it's also important to note that our page supports the unsubscribe, where again you select the page you want to unsubscribe, and then use a JWT token, which will delete each other account. So what this will do is to unsubscribe the page from the Facebook app and delete each other account that was created previously. So I click unsubscribe, and then I see a successful unsubscription. So now I shouldn't be able to send a message. Yeah, invalid from parameter because the job account doesn't exist. Going back to the slides, what is next? So as I mentioned, first and most important thing to implement is the red callback after the delivered is sent. We also need to implement the pricing and add CDRs. Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of like what's next on the immediate sort of roadmap, is we're going to have like a V2 epic. So we just really adding basic text functionality, and the next thing is to actually add media. So with that's going to come image, audio, video, and file on the MT, and on the MO, because it's slightly different, we get location from the user. Also, as a quick poll, very quickly, can people raise their hands if they know what MT means?
No.
Yeah, if you know what MT means, okay, cool. And you guys probably know what MO means, okay, cool. MT is outbound, MO is inbound messages. We then need to add some basic elements to provide self-service capabilities. So this is integrating with the quota system. Currently, everything is post-paid billing. One of the nice things is that we get going faster, but we need this to be self-service. And then we will be starting work on MMS, hopefully sometime in Q1. There's a lot of US demand for this, and also Vonage Essentials demand as well. And that's sort of the immediate sort of roadmap for now. Also, this is all going to be working with workflows. And whilst you saw the IDs, which were happening there, they're like hashed IDs, there is actually the option for a business, if they go through a certain number of approval processes on Facebook, to send to a user's mobile phone number. You get a higher match rate if you include the person's name. And this is a set of functionality that we really want to take advantage of in Q1. So for companies like Airbnb, who do have the customer's name and phone number, they could use this and then start sending traffic to the user. They also don't need to like the page either. So it's quite an interesting piece of functionality that we don't think is properly being used or exploited yet, but it's something that we're looking to really explore in Q1 once we've added that in. I think that's it. So if you guys have any immediate questions, let me know. If you guys have any questions online, yeah, let me know. Cool.
On the total implementation with Vonage Essential.
Yeah.
In terms of what do you know about this?
Cool. So the question for people online was, there's an implementation with Vonage Essentials. Can you tell us more about it? Cool. So Vonage Essentials offers iOS and Android apps to enable businesses, mostly targeted towards small and medium enterprises in the US as well, to talk to their customers, and they get inbound messages on their phone. We want to add the ability, because it's a very high chance that most of those also have Facebook pages, for all the small, like, it's a local dentist or hairdressers, or actually quite a big chain of like motor shops. To have a very simple flow that they can just go into their settings, and then as you saw that page, subscribe to a particular Facebook page. They'll then be able to receive any inbound messages that were sent to that Facebook page, and it will enable them to enable their customers to then reply. So we think it's quite a nice integration. Very similarly, this is where the demand for MMS is coming. It's very common that people want to say, take a photo of something and then send it to the business, say, hey, this particular package was broken. So whilst like the actual MMS volumes are very, very, very low, some of the use cases are becoming incredibly like, more and more important, like as a tick off. So that's what we're currently working on.
Is there any known competitor that are integrating with Facebook functionality?
Twilio, Infobit, MessageBird, all of them. What they don't have, the only one that has Furlough that is Infobit from Facebook Messenger to Viber. The downside of the Infobit solution is that it's only based upon delivery. So if it's been delivered, it doesn't go to the next step.
Right.
And yeah. So the problem there is that when we were sort of speaking to BlaBlaCar, we found out they did a test with Facebook Messenger about 2 years ago. And they got loads of people sending their notifications to Facebook Messenger. It was like a small percentage, but still sizable, and this was only in France. And it had like 100% delivery of the messages they sent because it's actually just sending to the browser. Not everyone actually had the Facebook Messenger app on their phone. And so it was being delivered, but they weren't even seeing the notification on their phone. And what actually ended up happening is a load of users just missed their car rides because Infobit, because they weren't using Infobit at the time, it was direct integration, but because they weren't actually reading it. So this is why in our particular failover and why the read status, as Panagiotis highlighted earlier, is important, is that we would probably recommend them to use, hey, make sure this message has been read, and if it hasn't, then as far as we know, Twilio don't have a product that's out in developer preview. They list a product called Retry or Fallback. It's called like with a coming soon, but we haven't seen any docs or anything on that just yet. MessageBird don't have anything, and none of the others really have any or like a more sophisticated failover product yet.
Okay. You said earlier about a location to be added from the MO side.
Yeah, so the user can send their location to the business.
What about the other way around?
That's not, Facebook Messenger doesn't allow the business to send a location to the customer. So just to fully make that clear, like we support we're going to plan to support all of the inbound messaging options, and we support the main core set of outbounds to begin with, but stuff like structured templates or airline templates, we're not going to support those just yet until we see sufficient demand, because they're quite complex.
And when you say location sharing, are they live location that like WhatsApp, for example, that is?
So it's a point in time location, and it's your latitude and longitude at that point.
Right.
And it's just a one-time, yeah. It's not like a constant update.
Right. But the other way around, technically, it is possible, right, from the business to the users to share location.
No, the business can't send. It's like a special formatted message. Businesses can't send a location as like a special formatted message.
Sure. Thank you.
Regarding the APIs, is like it's gonna be the same API for Viber and Facebook?
Yeah. So just to highlight
for the developers on there.
So just to highlight how similar it looks, that's Facebook Messenger. This is what SMS looks like, just changing type to SMS. All you're doing is changing the number to a number or an ID to an ID in that case. This is what Viber looks like. Again, exactly the same structure. So once you've implemented one as a developer, it's then very easy to start using these new channels. And the advantage now is that since we push this out live, new channels will come on at no extra cost as well. Yeah. So when we add MMS, this will literally just change to MMS, and this will now become an image, and that will be a URL, and then that will be a URL to the. Okay. So that's how easier it is to use.
It's something that the competitors have as well, or?
So Twilio is not quite. Mm-hmm. It's also based upon the legacy SMS and MMS, and then you integrate to a channel. So I don't really know how stuff like audio works with them. Infobit don't have a truly abstracted API. By that, what I mean is, with Infobit, you actually have to point to a different endpoint depending upon which channel you want to send to, but it's a almost similar format. With us, it's a single endpoint, and it's the same format.
Okay.
When are you going to implement full application management with just at the moment hybrid, isn't it? You use AWT and that's it.
Yes.
So my question is based around onboarding, how easy it is to onboard customers.
So with applications, I was kind of waiting to see what exactly happens with them.
Magic.
Okay. Well, as in, voice applications require a certain set of things, yet a conversation application can have multiple products underneath it. It sounds like there's still some decision making that needs to be happening outside of our remit before we can make a decision as to
I'm
when
not
we.
talking about conversations, I'm talking about, I sign up as a new customer. First thing I do is create a messaging application with my web work.
So,
I have my public key, generate my JWT, and I use it to report on my application.
so at the moment, JWTs are just used for authentication. Behind the scenes, we use the Nixmo API key for everything else.
Right, so when are you going to for?
Because I don't, this is like a conversation with Mark, I think, that needs to be had. There's some other things I can talk.
Application service.
Because there's some conflicting opinions higher than me over how this sort of stuff should work. And I was kind of waiting to see how the dust settled on that first.
I think it's quite, either way, you probably need to integrate the application service, whether that's with conversations or with messaging as a standalone. I think it makes it useful because we want to go to a world of applications only, not our API usage. So
There's some areas in which it complicates it further, in that with numbers and PSTN, it's very easy to have a one-to-one mapping with applications, whereas with social channels, that's not the case. And until we start using some more with customers, I actually don't know what the best answer is either. There's like a lot of unknown. My point is, there's a lot of unknowns, and I can't give an accurate timeline for when we should do it because I don't have enough feedback.
for a separate conversation, I would say that what you're suggesting is that we will not have the concept of messaging API in customer dashboard because we won't be able to do onboarding because you have a hybrid approach until conversations come online. So my point of view is I wouldn't like that.
Okay.
That may be too long, it's too complicated. Like, have multiple communications systems within one application. I think it's going to take too long to do.
Okay.
With the UI you've already done for the social account linking, like you're halfway there. Obviously, the application piece is. What I'm saying is I want to support you.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a difficult one to handle just yet.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Cool. Anyone else?
So that's will be open for any customer?
Yeah, this is going to be open. Facebook Messenger will be able for any customer.
With Viber only?
Viber, you have to send like a minimum of 200,000 messages a month. So if you were to take someone who's sending 1 million SMS, you'd have to hope that at least 20% of the messages would suddenly go to Viber users. And depending upon the penetration of which country you're targeting, that may be like quite hard. So if you're like 30%, then you'll be okay.
Facebook Messenger, does it work with Workplace?
No, this is not integrated into Workplace, no. Workplace uses similar APIs, but that's not what we're focusing on.
Is there any plan for it?
No, not any immediate plans for it.
Because Workplace is more professional.
Yeah.
Because if we stay with Facebook, we stay with usual customers. Customers.
Yeah, so there's no immediate plans to integrate with Workplace.
I think you mentioned that already, but just clarification about the IDs of Facebook. Right now, just the that ID that is generated for that customer to that page.
Yeah.
And in future, it's going to be possible also
To message to a phone
number.
To message a phone, but the business has to go through a few approval processes before that. So everyone by default will be able to just use the hashed IDs, but if they go through this approval process, they may be able to then use the phone number option. So for customers like Airbnb or Booking, that's going to be a relatively easy and straightforward process.
Okay.
For a smaller brand, it may be a bit difficult.
Okay, so it's like it would be possible to, like in the ID thing.
So the way that's going to look,
They will have still an ID number? Or
no, it'll be like number, and then you would have number 44 whatever, and then you'd have name, and then it'll be like first name object.
Okay.
So it look fairly similar. In the to field, not the from field, yeah, sorry. Cool. Any questions online?
Do they have a kind of a figure of how much traffic we expected when they're going to launch it with
we're not
Essential? They expect?
Oh, Vonage Essentials, no, because it's going to be a new channel for them.
So it's a new product for a new.
Yeah.
Okay. But do they have an idea how much? Obviously, they must have an idea how much traffic will be generated because that's what they're asking for. So they have a certain number of customers, so they kind of forecasting or foreseeing an amount of traffic from this API.
I mean, I don't have those figures to hand. I don't know if you guys on the line have any idea of what sort of traffic you'd expect from Vonage for Facebook on Vonage Essentials. If not, don't worry. But no, I don't think so. It's a new channel for them. I think it's a very good fit for Vonage Essentials in terms of US market, small to medium enterprises. It's perfect for Facebook pages and the customer service use case. Cool. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.